Today's video is a continuation of the declassified ultra-top secret document entitled Statement of Position on Unidentified Flying Objects Prepared for Entry-Level Magic, 12 Eyes Only. The first part, which will be linked at the end, dealt with information about the extraterrestrials themselves. This video will be about the extraterrestrial technology that was described in the document. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share the videos with your friends if you enjoy them, and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of upcoming videos. Since the huge interstellar, meaning between stars, craft cannot approach the powerful gravity and magnetic fields of the stars from which they draw their power, they are placed into a parking orbit far outside the planetary family, meaning outside the solar system of any star that they approach. This may be millions of miles from the world the EBEs wish to visit. Smaller craft, often but not always dish-shaped, are used to travel the distances remaining. These rather power and propel themselves by use of electrogravity. This is a means of balancing a gravity wave against an electromagnetic wave in a manner that generates a third kind of wave, similar to that which powers their larger vessel. This journey between worlds takes time in the small craft, and the humanoid EBEs, or extraterrestrial biological entities, suspend the effects of aging by freezing themselves in small chambers. The psychic powers of the humanoid EBEs are not lessened during the state of suspended animation, so they are still able to control the craft. Towards that end, and to provide for some external control over unforeseeable circumstances while frozen, the humanoid EBEs developed a host parasite culture thousands of years ago with the small gray EBEs. Since then, these grays have become an extension of their controller's senses to such a degree that most humanoid EBEs rely heavily on their use at all times. They are not unlike the symbolic empathy between a pack of hunting dogs or a team of horses and their earthly masters, simply like tools or partners in work, explained one EBE. During the current wave of interest in our planet by the EBEs, there have been 3 interstellar craft or motherships stationed outside our solar system. These have been rotated at 22-year intervals since the early 1930s. During a contact debriefing in 1964, an EBE explained that this was really no hardship for them. Our genetic science is about where yours will be in another millennia or two. Although the basic grasp of engineering the DNA will come within another 80 years or so, if you survive as a species. Our friends will still be living when we return home. And most of us bring our families with us so we can watch our children mature. Their family structure is very different from ours and often includes several models of each set of parents, specifically engineered to produce offspring of certain mental character adapted to different physical force needed in their culture. All of these live together as a family unit, often as many as would be in a small village or neighborhood in our civilization. On board the Mothership, almost every race and culture is represented. There is no recognizable form of government behind the actions of these representatives from many worlds. It has been explained as a species of objects. Physically, it evolves, and psychically or spiritually too. The outcome of this process is that any form of political organizing, including the politics of religious structure, becomes a personal moral transgression of higher shame to any who practices such pursuits than any good that could come from them. Although this attitude makes any discussion of their faith or beliefs nearly impossible, it has become very clear that most races capable of interstellar travel support the principles of self-determination. In short, there is no empire of conquerors threatening our planet. A little cross-cultural nudge, like urging a small child to walk toward you, is okay. But these guys won't let Darth Vader sweep their streets. As a member of the Majestic Diplomatic Task Group put it, after several years of analysis, many volumes could be written, and honestly, have been, on the details of this ongoing contact process. Much of the contact of individual citizens by these EBEs seems kind of absurd on the surface, and we remain largely incapable of controlling such contact. The pattern developing, however, seems to indicate that a direct course of action is not needed. Little threat to national security has occurred. In fact, the EBs have informed us that we are a sort of protectorate, not unlike a wildlife preserve in their eyes. They will not protect us from ourselves, but are also not interested in making us become like them. There do appear to be forces in outer space that are hostile, in the sense that they would exploit us, although not conquer us, and we've been informed that a large part of the alien presence on Earth is to isolate us from doing any damage to the aliens' own culture until we are morally evolved as a species. With these things in mind, we arrive at a statement of official position. Here's a statement of position, and so far as no threat, either implied nor expressed, and either of a military, civil, or societal nature, has been forwarded by the visitation or the association of visiting extraterrestrials against the government and the peoples of these United States of America, and insofar as great and many cultural and technical advances have been derived by such exchange, we hereby grant full, complete diplomatic status and recognition to these individuals from beyond our world. Furthermore, let it be known that we seek to provide shelter, comfort, and aid in all their peaceful endeavors, so far as these are respective of the laws of our land and the right to self-determination and free will expressed in our national Constitution. And until such times as the objectives or methods of either parties in this agreement shall deem otherwise, this bond between our peoples shall remain in effect. The preceding diplomatic creed was drafted by the Directorate of the Majestic 12 operation and a joint committee of extraterrestrial visitors and representatives of the U.S. Diplomatic Corps as a statement of intent. It was ratified and signed at Kirtland Air Force Base, Texas on July 18, 1954, by President Dwight D. Eisenhower and an individual on behalf of the EBEs. Each subsequent holder of the executive office has continued to uphold the intent of this policy towards these aliens. Beyond the statement of intent, basic agreement has been reached on the following negotiated issues. The extraterrestrials will refrain, where and when possible, from open display of their presence to the public at large. To the extraterrestrials will submit substantiating proof and listings of all persons contacted from among the public at large, or that have been removed from the earth for purpose of contact or cultural exchange. In no case shall anyone abducted by the EBEs be subject to knowing harm or kept against their will for longer than 48 hours. The extraterrestrials will avoid any willful contact with representatives of the public news media or any private investigators of the UFO phenomenon, groups or writers dedicated to the same intentions. Next, the U.S. government will provide through the defense logistics agencies, utilization and marketing service, such items as needed for the personal comfort of those visiting EBEs who may be sequestered in its care. Next, the U.S. government will provide a section of the Majestic headquarters base in Nevada as an embassy compound for the EBE visitors and equip it to their needs. Lastly, any exchange or technical, scientific, or social information will be conducted item for item, and in such manner as to assure that both parties have equal gain from the process. except for many fascinating details, which are available under separate cover to either Operation Majestic or the Defense Intelligence Agency's Office of Counterintelligence. This concludes the assessment of the situation and statement of position section of this preliminary briefing paper. As we close this look into the Majestic 12 manual, we're left with more questions than answers. The technology described in these documents could change everything we know about energy, travel, and even life itself. One thing is certain, the truth has been hidden behind the words ultra above top secret for far too long. The more we uncover, the closer we come to understanding what's really out there,